Good morning, guys. So we are officially back from Europe, already over a week back now. Not surprisingly, if you guys saw how we kind of came into Europe, just how we were feeling overall in the week, we got sick. So the sickness is starting to finally kind of wind down now. Yeah, just a crazy travel. We had a delay in our flight. It was canceled. We had to stay a night in Paris, which is nice. Sounds nice to a lot of people, but for me, I'm still, technically working. It's not a leisure trip, so it wasn't really nice for me. I just wanted to get home and get to good rest, which we finally gotten to do. I'm already for a couple days now already, and we're already feeling a little bit better. Still have some lingering sickness from the travel. I'm just excited to do a show, and it's going to be a pro debut, the final pro debut for Classic Physique come November 8th. It's going to be domestic. I think after going or coming from a international flight, every domestic flight or travel for a show is going to be so much easier now that we've experienced what a international level flight feels like in terms of, bringing our meals, eating our meals, timings, all that stuff, right? So I'm so happy it's going to be local because we're going to bring such a good package come November 8th compared to NBW. Obviously, we're also going to come in more conditioned too, but regardless, it was a fun show experience. But yes, in for upper today at Ultraflex. So on top of getting sick last week, we also had 3 athletes step on stage. We had Philip, who won his pro card, won the overall at an OCB show for Men's Physique, and he's also doing November 8th in Sacramento. We had Herman and Eli. All these guys are all first timers, and the fact that they did so well in their first shows says a lot about them. Herman placed second and third in both his debut classes in Classic and Bodybuilding. Eli got bronze in Open Bodybuilding and Open Classic. Both did super well. Eli going into those bronze medals, I know a lot of people care about first place, but if you're super hyper fixated over first place all the time, you're just never going to be satisfied, because realistically there's always going to be somebody bigger than you out there, and you're focused just on, I want to get first. You're going to have a hard time bodybuilding because you cannot control who shows up. The fact that he placed bronze in both classes for his first show says a lot, because the guy that got first was already an existing pro who is a pro in 3 divisions, all 3. Second place guy was a guy with just more age and muscularity. So what is Eli gonna do? Gain 10 pounds of muscle in the span of a prep? That's not gonna happen, right? So yeah, super proud of him. And I had a couple people, I had one person tell me oh, he placed third. At least you had a guy place first. I'm just that pissed me off. I'm just but at the same time, I understand there's a lot of ignorance when it comes to the sport of bodybuilding. It's a very niche thing, guys, and I'm sure you guys can relate when you guys are eating your meals, when you guys are spending hours in the gym, and people don't understand why you're spending so much time in a place they probably don't like, and you probably don't even want to explain yourself. That's how it is with me at this point. Competitive bodybuilding is super niche, and there's a lot of deep levels to this that you just don't even bother explaining at this point. So overall, very good week. Doesn't matter if I'm sick or not, I will show up to my athlete shows and be in their corner to support them if when they need me, because they've also put in a tremendous amount of work going into their seasons. Herman's season's over just because we need to get fresh for his next season to come. That might be a year, 2, 3, but we want to have a much better starting point next time around going into his next seasons. Eli and Philip are both doing Sacramento. I'm doing Sacramento too, which is going to be so cool. I'm going to be doing my pro debut. They're both still going as amateurs, even though Philip is now a pro. He's a pro in OCB. This is going to be a WNBF show. So he's going to obviously be gunning for another pro title, but at the same time, going for titles, you guys know where I stand for that. It's a cool, ambitious kind of goal to look for, going for a pro card, going for first place, but the best case scenario is just bring your best package. If you guys watched the UK vlog, literally the last video that I posted, I didn't get first, and that was the first show I didn't get first. It wasn't a shock because going into that show, I knew I wasn't gonna, blow it out of the water, because those guys are just, they have age, maturity, and they've been in the sport for longer than me. And honestly, the guys outside the U.S., majority of the time, are just at a higher caliber than the guys in the USA, if we're being honest. So I was happy with the placings. At first, when I didn't place as high as I wanted to, I was a little defeated, and I talk about this in the vlog. But after seeing the package that I brought, I was so happy, because once you're on stage and they call your placings, you're kind of like, ooh, that kind of stings, but then when you actually take a good look at yourself, assuming that you've brought a good package, you're happy with it. I'm happy with it, because I brought a much better package than I did last time around in 2023. And that's what matters. If I came in the same, yeah, that would suck. But brought in a much better package, and we will bring an even better one come November 8th. So all this talk about titles, mindset, it's very cheesy, like talking about like, oh, don't worry about getting first, what matters is the package you bring. But it's true. I'm pretty much just replicating what I said in the UK vlog, but it's true. And the more you avoid that kind of truthfulness, the longer it's going to take to be competitive in bodybuilding, because you're going to have your eyes set on the wrong kind of mentality, if that makes sense. But I'm excited to meet Eli in person. Alex is also doing that show too. That's going to be his season debut, and hopefully he qualifies for Worlds so that he can also do Worlds, because he's local to LA, and Eli is actually doing Worlds too. Limitless Bodybuilding is actually going to be sponsoring his show entry for Worlds, because the one thing that was stopping him from doing Worlds was finances. So, this is his first season. He's qualified for Worlds in a crazy lineup this past weekend. So he honestly deserves to go to Worlds if he wants to. So we're going to be paying for both his show entries, or not we, but the brand is going to be paying for both his show entries in both Open Classic and Open Bodybuilding, and just seeing where he stacks up amongst the best amateurs in the world, technically, right? Even though I don't think a lot of amateurs would fly in from outside the world to Worlds, but who knows, Worlds is a big show, so we'll just see. I'm going to be there for both days, obviously. Worlds is going to be on the 22nd of November for the amateurs, and the 23rd of November for the pros. So I'll be there to support my guys one day out, most likely. And then show day, because it's one day out for myself, so we'll just have to see what AJ says. But on show day, I'll be there obviously just to compete myself, and that will conclude the season for us. And back to the off season, back to improvements, where we get to build tissue, which we need to do, especially after going into the MBW show, where those guys just had more muscle than us, but we also have more time. So assuming everything goes right in our lives and we don't die early. We didn't get to Display Classic over at the MBW. If you guys watched the video like all the way, or at least midway through, you guys know we didn't make weight, unfortunately. And unfortunately, Classic is probably where we're going to be the most competitive too. So that's one reason why I'm super excited for this upcoming show, November 8th, where we debut with the WNBF as Classic. At the same time, we are starting to feel the prep a lot more, but it just means it's working and it's getting exciting, and we're reaching conditioning that's tough to hit. So hope you guys enjoyed the video. I'll catch you guys in the next one.